the Women in Fisheries Network Chairperson, Ms. Sheree Morris, the Regional Director, Oxfam in the Pacific, Ms. Rachel Nicole, senior government officials, invited guests, and stakeholders, a very good morning to you all. And Aramayandra for my Tauvus from Ra, who are here this morning. I wish to firstly thank the Women in Fisheries Network, Fiji, for inviting me to officially launch the Rapid Care Analysis Report for Navulao and the Korotumbu districts in Ra. The last time I officiated at a Women in Fisheries Network Fiji event was in 2018, during the launch of the national stocktake of the institutional and enabling mechanisms that support gender in fisheries. I'm told that last week, the Ministry of Itauke Affairs and Women in Fisheries Network Fiji signed a memorandum of understanding to foster women's participation in decision-making, and that there are 2 more researchers in the pipeline by the network, including the impact of COVID-19 on women fish vendors and the Food Security and Livelihood Survey on coastal communities led by the locally managed Marine Area Network that will be released soon. Therefore, I take this time to commend the network on its continuous efforts in committing to be an information hub for issues concerning women in fisheries. The efforts and findings of organizations and networks of this nature are very crucial components of policy decision-making in each sector of the Fijian economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to talk about the care economy and unpaid care work, which is highly relevant at this time, where we are faced with the COVID-19 pandemic and increasing unpaid care work for women and girls with new health and hygiene requirements, such as hand washing and taking care of the sick, those who are living with disabilities, and elderly family members, where curfews and self-quarantine measures make these tasks even more challenging. Care work, which is predominantly provided by women and girls, is a central yet typically undervalued contributor to economies. It includes essential daily activities of individuals, such as cooking, cleaning, tending, fetching food and water, providing, and the list goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2020 is 25 years after Beijing and 5 years into implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, which represent a bold and comprehensive agenda for 2030. It was intended to be groundbreaking for gender equality and women's rights. Instead, with the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, even the limited gains made in the past decades are at risk. COVID-19 is already intensifying underlying inequalities in the economy across all sectors, with women and girls expected to be hit hardest through the economic crisis. In such context, I would like to underline the fact that no institution has more universal and personal significance to each of us than the family unit. Families are places of love where we can go for support and nourishment, especially in times of hardship, where we may bear and raise children and care for those in need. But we shall also recognize that families are also places of violence and discrimination for women and girls. As previous studies confirm, women in rural areas often spend up to 14 hours a day doing unpaid care work. Across the globe, 42% of women cannot get jobs because they are responsible for all the caregiving compared to just 6% of men. Women, over and over again, have to work reduced hours or drop out of the workforce because of their care workload. The picture is not much different for us in Fiji, where gender differences in hours spent on unpaid domestic and care work stand at 39 hours for women and 14 hours for men in the age group 30 to 34. Labor force participation in Fiji stands at 76.4% for men and 37.4% for women. Unemployment stands at 2.9% for men and 7.8% for women. This is before COVID hit us. In Fiji, a large number of women's economic participation is inclined towards low-paying jobs within precarious informal sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, a recent report in Fisheries in the Pacific highlighted that women carry out almost 50% of fishing activities that are crucial to Pacific livelihoods. I learned that this is much higher than the international average, and sadly, women in the fisheries sector, their contributions in Fiji and across the region have yet to be recognized. I also learned last night, reading the rapid care analysis, that in Navalau district, a woman spends 67 hours on unpaid care work per week, compared to 30 hours for men. In the Korotumbu district, a woman spends 80 hours per week on unpaid care, while a man spends 47 hours. I don't know if you ever sleep. We only have 24 hours in a day. Being a woman fisher and spending hours out at sea, being exposed to sunlight, temperature of the waters, I cannot even fathom the bravery and the experiences that you live through each and every day. And I congratulate you. On that note, I am honored to be here today. Today's event is significant, as it marks the first time that we will be able to collectively put some data, recognition, and appreciation on the tireless efforts made on unpaid care work by women in the districts of Navalau and Korotumbu. To me, care work is crucial to our society and to the economy. Without someone investing time, energy, efforts, and resources in these essential daily tasks, communities, workplaces, and the whole economy would grind to a halt. It is time that we collectively work to recognize, reduce, and redistribute unpaid care work. I have no doubt that the network is already on the right track for women in the fisheries sector in Fiji to be empowered, recognized, valued, and participating in all aspects of sustainable fisheries and decision-making in that sector. Additionally, I look forward to learn more about the RCA today and viewing the documentary on connecting women fishers to markets that is set to happen later this morning. The need to link fisherwomen with relevant state, CSO, and private sector players for potential markets was a recommendation from the RCA findings, and already prompt actions has been taken by the network in finding practical solutions, not only affecting the lives of women, but their families as a whole. I've been told that with the Shifting Power, Shifting Voice Coalition by Oxfam in Fiji, the rapid care analysis has been carried out in 2 provinces by other coalition members and with Women in Fisheries Network Fiji in the Ra province. I hope we won't stop the great work here and continue to sail across the seas to conduct more RCA in other provinces, and especially in Vuniwaqa, please, in creating a more evidence-based approach in addressing unpaid care work. I must also acknowledge the funding by the Australian government and technical guidance by Oxfam on the rapid care analysis methodology. The Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation also welcomes the opportunity to collaborate on proposed solutions and recommendations from your findings. I wish to once again convey my gratitude to Women in Fisheries Network, Oxfam, for the collective and outstanding efforts to move towards achieving the goal of gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. The voices of the Navalau and Korotumbu district people have been heard, and now it is on our hands to change recognition into realization. And with these words, I'm pleased to now launch the Rapid Care Analysis Report. Vuniwaqa.